What is Kundalini energy? That's the topic of today's Soul Sovereignty and Sexuality podcast with myself, Jessica Falcon, International Soul Embodiment Guide and Relationship Expert. You can find out more at thepathtosovereignty.com. And I want to talk about Kundalini energy because it's come up a lot recently, particularly when I was co-facilitating the Sacred Sensuality retreat we had recently in Pennsylvania. And in general, in discussions, because I see there is a lot of misunderstanding of Kundalini. It came up in one of the in-person workshops that I've been doing around the East Coast as well, the Sacred Body Wisdom workshops. And one of the things I work with is Kundalini energy, and I actually activate Kundalini in people. And I find it difficult to use the term because it's so misunderstood. And there's Kundalini yoga, there's books about Kundalini, and I'm not saying, right, that my way is the only way. What I'm talking about when I talk about Kundalini energy is from an ancient feminine perspective, from a sacred union perspective, from a soul perspective. And I know that there is a lot out there around forcing Kundalini to rise, around making Kundalini rise with will, with effort, with intention. And you've heard people talk about, Kundalini basically like breaks where they almost felt like they were going psychotic because it was a Kundalini awakening and they couldn't function in the world because so much was happening. And that can often be the result of it not being an embodied experience and too much happening too quickly on the system, because we don't need to force Kundalini to rise. When you are accessing and working with the energy of your body as energy, your body as the energy of your soul, and I've done past episodes on soul embodiment, then Kundalini will naturally arise. So let's first talk about what is Kundalini, and then we'll talk about how, right, Kundalini is activated as well. So Kundalini is an serpentine energy that moves within the body, that creates fluidity, right? There's a fluid movement in Kundalini energy when the body is moving like a serpent, undulating like a serpent, because the energy is moving freely between the chakras. The energy is being unified between the left and right sides, the front and back sides. The energy is unified. The energy is moving up. It can also move down. It's not just one way. And that energy is moving in that serpentine fashion, wave-like fashion, electromagnetic fashion, because what is electromagnetic, right? It is a wave-like function, just like serpentine, just like water, historical, and all the historical symbols, water around the world had that same wave-like symbol, which is that serpentine symbol. And the serpent has represented the earth energy rising to meet, quote, heavenly energy, source energy, spirit energy, meeting matter, body meeting soul, union within. It is the merging of the primal nature with your divine nature. It is the merging of your humanity with your divinity. The consciousness of your divinity being infused into your body, infused into your life, infused into your relationships. This is Kundalini. This doesn't happen through effort. This doesn't happen through forcing. This doesn't happen through willpower. This happens through self-knowledge. This happens through getting into your body and opening the energy of your body and allowing it to move, which is why the Sacred Body Wisdom series that I offer, I have an online version, an in-person version, if you're on the East Coast, activates that Kundalini. that life force energy, that creative sexual life force energy that is naturally moving through all of us, but it gets impeded by trauma, by karma that's unresolved, by belief systems that say that's bad, you shouldn't feel, it's not spiritual to feel, it's not powerful to feel, it's more spiritual to be up and out of the body than in it. All of these belief systems that have been perpetuated for millennia block the flow of Kundalini, block the flow of your innate life force energy. Guilt, shame, what I call the core wounds of humanity, they block the flow of your Kundalini. They block the flow of your life force energy. And so we don't have to force Kundalini to rise. That's a very dominating, I don't even want to use the word masculine. It's a very dominating, because the actual divine masculine is not dominating. That's a very dominating way of working with an ancient feminine primordial energy, Kundalini. She doesn't need to be forced. In fact, she doesn't want to be forced. She doesn't respond very well to being forced, hence symptoms that are too overwhelming for the ego to handle, for the system to handle. She wants to be invited. She wants to be invited to rise. She wants to be invited to move. She needs space. Space in which to move. And by bringing your awareness into your body and your breath into the same location and your intention to connect, you create space in your body. I invite you, if you haven't already, to listen to the 3 keys of embodiment a couple weeks ago, how to create space in the body. And then the more space you create by receiving what's inside of you with love, I believe I talked about this last week as well in the episode on, oh my gosh, I can't remember the title of last week, shadow work. When you create that space in your body, and the stagnant energy begins to move, and the suppressed energy begins to move, and that old stuck trauma begins to move into your awareness, into your consciousness, and you can receive it with love. Have to receive it with love. And if you don't yet have the ability to do that, or it's too deep and too raw to do that, and you want support, or you just want support, someone like myself can work with you one-on-one to guide you into that process. That's what I do with a lot of my clients one-on-one, as we go into and we move this energy from past or present life, trauma and suppressed emotions, stagnant energy, all of that, to create this fluidity, to create this flow, to create this alignment to the soul truth. You don't have to do this alone, but you still need to be able to receive it with your heart, whether it's with a guide or on your own, so that the energy moves. Which is why the heart activation is so important. And as you do that, more and more space is created. Well, all of that space is created, and then what's naturally there, that natural life force energy, begins to move, and it begins to undulate, and begins to rise. And as long as you're moving energy as it's coming up to your awareness, this isn't an overnight thing. This is not an overnight thing. You are consistently connecting to your body, its energy. You are consistently allowing what's there to move, and you are consistently creating space. And then that energy just flows. It begins to flow. The more you clear your subconscious, the shadow, listen to last week, the more you clear that, the more time and space you create in your body, embodiment episode 2 weeks ago, the more you do that, the more that Kundalini energy is just going to rise naturally. Now, why does it matter? Because your Kundalini is your life force energy. It is your sexual energy. It's your creative energy. It's your intuition. It is your radiance. It's your health. That energy flowing fluidly through you. It allows you to be a clear conduit for God, Goddess, Source energy. It allows you to be a clearer channel. It allows you to be more attuned to your soul truth, because all that other right? You're releasing it. You're seeing it. You're not taking on the energies of other people. You have cleared your channel. You have cleared your field. And your energy is radiating out versus taking the world and making it yours. So sovereignty is to access your soul truth, to bring more and more light of your soul into your body so that you are radiating your truth out into the world. You are living your truth in relationships, in how you show up, in your job, in life. You are living your soul's truth, which is usually doing the opposite of what everybody else tells you to do. Believe me, I know, former criminal prosecutor, former adjunct professor at university. Like, what are you doing as a soul embodiment guide? Well, it's not logical. It's not rational because my soul had a different path for me and I trusted it. And I cleared everything in my way. And I continue to clear everything in my way every single day so that I embody my soul's truth. So I can help you embody your soul's truth. Because quite frankly, there's no other way to live. Why would you live any other way? Why? Ask yourself the question. Why would you live any other way? For what? For what? When you can have radiant health and radiant joy and radiant peace and radiant abundance from living your soul's truth, the kind that no one can ever take away, why would you settle for anything less? But you do have to do the work to create internal safety to be able to do that and to trust yourself and to heal those wounds of the shame, of the guilt, of the self-doubt, of powerlessness, of being a victim, all of that. That's the work. That's the work I do with clients one-on-one. That's the work I guide you through when you do the Sacred Body Wisdom course online, because it's how you start to activate this deeper power within you. It all starts with the body. So there's a free online event called The Power of the Feminine. If you're at all interested in Kundalini, if you're interested in soul truth, if you're interested in embodiment, feminine power, then I invite you to sign up for that free event, because Kundalini energy is very connected to ancient feminine power, ancient feminine mysteries, serpent goddess, earth mother, all of that's Kundalini, serpent energy. That's the power of the feminine. So we'll be talking about that on Tuesday, July 22nd, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. You can join us live. You can watch the replay. So go to thepathtosovereignty.com. I'll put the link below. You can also start activating your Kundalini energy through the Sacred Body Wisdom online series or attend a workshop on the East Coast. Those are the two things that I will leave you with. It is essential when working with Kundalini energy that you first have what's called observer consciousness, which is the capacity to observe what is happening inside of you without attaching or identifying to it, or with it rather. And you can start to develop that observer consciousness through meditation. Personally, at this point, I only do embodied meditations where I'm really meditating with my body, but any sort of meditative technique that allows you to be aware that thoughts are arising within you and that you are not your thoughts, that you are that which is beyond your thought, that right there, that's what you need to start developing in order to be able to go deeper into the body, in order to be able to access this energy, in order to be able to activate more of your own Kundalini energy. Okay, so start with that. You're already having that observer consciousness. Listen to the 3 Keys to Embodiment episode to start to go into the body. That's one tool. And the other is the Sacred Body Wisdom online series. It's less than $200. It will change your life. I have no doubt. Okay. Jessica Falcon, The Path to Sovereignty. I will see you soon on the podcast. Lots of love.